Hi everyone. So for this next lesson, what we're going to be going over is what we call trend lines in channels. So just like we were talking about with support and resistance, trend lines and channels are simply points in the market, just like horizontal support and resistance, but they're specific lines that the market seems to not want to break. So I'm going to show you guys an example of what we had one in the market. This right here, for instance, could be a trend line where the market bounces off of multiple times and doesn't break. Here's another perfect example of one for you. Let me just bring this up. I like to draw a good trend to make sure I have you guys fully aware. So right here, for instance, you see this trend line means the market was never going to break this line. Every single time it touches it is a good time to sell because it retraces. After about 3 touches, you know that it's pretty solid, that when it gets that line, it's going to bounce off. Trend lines are basically just diagonal support and resistance as you see it, right? Just a line like that you would have. And of course, they will eventually get broken, but you can ride them for a long time, just like a wave, until you see certain indicators which will tell you they're going to be broken. Here's another one, for instance. Right? And then it finally did break, as you can see, right here, and then went back in. But that is a trend. A channel is basically a trend that is parallel on 2 sides. So if you do the top, for instance, here, you'd see the bottom is parallel of it. I can find you a little bit better one to find a beautiful parallel channel for you, because it is very important to see a nice parallel channel when trading. It's because we're on the daily chart. Whoops, my bad. You'll see a lot more channels on the smaller time frames. For instance, here was a pretty nice channel for a while. Click down here and bring it, see what bounces off the market consistently like that. So when you draw a channel and see, once you were drawing the channel, for instance, we only drew it here, right? Or technically, even if we drew it when we first started here, we could have drawn out the expectation of the market for what it was going to continue to do, right? And it'll make sure it at least touches twice. So if it touched here, for instance, and here, and we're using our low point here to determine it, that's how you do a channel, is basically from the high and low point, you let them follow. You see it goes up, and you'll be able to continue and seeing it until it breaks. So if we had that there, see, as soon as it touched up here again, right here, we could have sold, and you see that went down a bit. Here we could have sold and made a lot. Then when it bounced off here, then we would have bought. See, then went up, then we would have sold, right? Then I got closed and wicked. And we're going to talk to you and teach you about reversal candlesticks and how they work. But see, and then it wicked. So then it went up. And you can see this middle line here, which we have in the trend. This is basically almost like a mini resistance of itself, as you can see, in key points where it basically reverses off of and doesn't pass. That's why we have this added in. All you need to do when you draw your channels is double click on it, and you could add in the middle line here. It's very useful because, as you can see, the market also listens to the middle line of your channels. So it's just like support resistance, but it's a special tool that you'll be able to use trends and channels to be able to see where the market's bouncing off of in key points. For instance, like there's another one. Here's another good one. They're everywhere in the market, these trends, and that's why you follow the trend and trade within the trends and all those points, because those are, again, a better point for entry than anywhere else in the market, just like a support, resistance zone, or supply and demand. So hopefully this taught you a little bit more about channels. I'm just going to draw a few more, because again, they don't even need to be diagonal. You could have, for instance, a horizontal channel. It's kind of hard to see some though, but this isn't perfectly horizontal, but you'll see what I mean. For instance, you can have horizontal channels as well that work, and different things like that. So channels are just basically the 2 points that it bounces in between constantly. And trends is a line that it seems to restrict, just like a support or resistance zone. Just again, like here. So until next time, guys, hopefully you learned a lot on this lesson. I will see you guys on our next lesson. I hope you have a good day.